I woke up feeling great, 7 days in my hyperbaric chamber, and I felt better than I had in years. The test had worked. I sat up, ran through my checklist, swung my legs off the pad and stood, steady, strong, ready to call my wife and tell her I was coming home. Then I looked out the window. The world I went to sleep in was gone. My name is Douglas. I'm a medical device engineer. I built a machine I called the Chamber, a hyperbaric pod made to treat people with severe medical problems. I've seen people in comas put on ventilators for weeks, the long-haul intubation cases. When they came out, if they came out, new problems caused by the process dogged them for life. There had to be a better way. So I built one. The chamber looked like something between a tanning bed and an MRI machine, an enclosed pod, temperature-controlled, with a built-in nutrition system using osmotic micro-delivery. No drip bag, no tube down the throat. The patient could stay awake and sleep in the chamber. The results has been remarkable. The 7-day test was the milestone, the proof of concept that would take it to trials. I went in on a Monday morning. My team had been working remotely at the beginning of the pandemic before it mutated. The lab was mine alone, which was how I liked it. I ran the pre-check, confirmed the nutrient levels, set the timer, and climbed in. I did not know that by Tuesday, the city outside my windows would be unrecognizable. Coming out Saturday morning was gradual. The emergence protocol warmed the temperature in stages, slowly adjusted the oxygenation mix, let the body recalibrate, more to full consciousness arrived. I was aware before I was awake, aware of my breathing first, then the hum of the pod system, then my own weight against the pad. I pushed the release, the lid opened. I sat up, took a breath of lab air, and ran a hand over my face. I did the checklist without thinking. Weight lost, negligible. Hydration, optimal. Muscle oxygenation, above baseline. The osmotic system had done its job. 7 days in, done. I swung my legs off the pad and stood steady. I walked to the door of the test room without holding anything, which I half expected to need after a week of zero movement. My legs were fine. I slipped out of my testing gear and into my regular clothes. I tried looking out the window, but the morning sun was a blinding orange light, so I went to my desk, hit the power button on my computer. But nothing. The power was out. The lab was running on emergency power that I had installed. Enough for the pod system and the lights, but not connected to the workstation. I checked my phone. I powered it off before the test to preserve the battery. I turned it on and waited for it to boot. The first things I checked were for emails and voicemails, but nothing came through. Remarkably, text notifications came in all at once. I'm going to tell you what the text said, because the texts are how I found out about what was happening while I was asleep. Reading them at my dead workstation while the things moved out through the street below was the strangest experience of my life. The end of the world arriving as a stack of unread messages. Everyone knew I was in the pod. Everyone knew I wouldn't read any of this for a week. They wrote to me anyway. Some of them were writing to the future, Douglas. Some of them just needed somewhere to put it. The first text message is listed as Monday, 9:14 a.m. and is from my wife, Rachel. I know you won't see this for a week, but I'm going to text you anyway. The news has something about an incident downtown. Probably nothing. I love you. See you on Monday. The next text is listed as Monday, 2:37 p.m. is from my colleague Tom, who is helping me work on the Chamber project. Doug, writing this to you knowing you're asleep. Something's developing across the city. At first they said riots, but now they're calling it civil unrest. The news is being vague. Keeping an eye on it. Sarah says hi. Monday, 6:51 p.m. Rachel text. Mary came over and we watched TV. Every station is the news. There are reports of violence, car accidents, and fires. Social media has videos of people attacking each other, and I can't watch that. It isn't just town down. It's in the suburbs, too. They say the president is going to make an announcement soon. Monday, 9:14 p.m. Text from Tom. Doug, it's bad. I'm trying to get Jerry downtown to pull you out of the pod. If you're reading this, you made it through the week, and that means the pod kept you safe. Stay in the building. Do not go outside. I took a break from the messages and walked to the window to see maybe what they were talking about. The sun had lifted a little, and I was able to see the street for the first time. Cars sat at angles, not parked, abandoned mid-turn and mid-lane. A cab with its door hanging open, a delivery truck with its front end inside a dry cleaner storefront, glass across the sidewalk, a body on the pavement near the corner, another body halfway out a car door, arm hanging out, lying still, and a third body on the steps of the building across the street, face down. I stood at the window, stunned by the scene. A slight wave of nausea struck me, something I knew was the after effect of the chamber, so I went back to my desk and sat down. When the nausea passed, I went back to my phone. Tuesday, 7:02 a.m., text from Tom. Writing to you from the future, buddy. The dead are rising. Reanimation, they're calling it. I know how that sounds. It's the only word that fits. I've seen it firsthand. There are people who are not okay. If there is anyone who can get to your building before you wake up, I've called them. I don't know if anyone will be able to make it. Tuesday, 8:44 a.m., text from Rachel. Called Tom. He's trying to get someone to come to get you out. Everywhere is mayhem. Car wrecks, people on foot. Some nut tried to get in my car when I left the driveway. I'm at a gas station with the neighbors, and I'm okay. I just want you to know I love you, and I'm going to be smart about this. Tuesday, 11:30 a.m., text from Tom. I called the building super. He's not answering. I called your mobile, off, obviously. I called Jerry, and he is trapped in his apartment. He says it's too dangerous to leave. People are attacking each other in the street. The authorities are nowhere to be found. Tuesday, 7:58 p.m., text from Rachel. Barry, his wife, kids, and I are at a rest stop. The phone battery is at half power, so I will turn it on every day in the morning, noon, and at night, listening for you. I'm going to keep texting you because it helps me feel less alone. I felt a slight headache coming on, so I put the phone down. At the window again, figures moved through the street below. Not many, 4 or 5 that I could see. They drifted through the stopped cars with a loose, unfocused quality. No destination, no urgency. Then one of them stopped, raised its head, turned towards something I couldn't see, and moved toward it with a sudden, absolute purpose, fast, direct, nothing like the drifting of a moment before. And the others followed pursuit. I stood at the window, and I had seen enough. I went back to my phone and decided this time I was going to finish reading the texts. Wednesday, 12:44 p.m., text from Tom. Douglas, I'm going to be honest with you because you're going to wake up and need the truth. The radio is calling it an undead outbreak. The pandemic mutated. Infected people became violent. The virus spreads through saliva, blood, but it isn't airborne, thank God. The downtown is gone. Not damaged. Gone. The country isn't doing much better. Sarah and I have already left for our parents' place upstate. I tried everything I could think of to get someone to your building, but nobody could make it. Wednesday, 11:52 p.m. Text from Rachel. Still here. Still okay. Quieter tonight. I keep thinking about you, waking up on Monday morning, completely fine, stepping out of that pod, not knowing any of this happened. Thursday, 11:31 a.m. Text from Rachel. We found a couple's cabin who would take us in. They don't have cell service, so I'm at a gas station. We made coffee on the stove, small victories. Battery power getting lower. I love you. Friday, 10:22 a.m. Text from Rachel. I read almost all day. I miss the sound of your voice. I miss completely ordinary things. Friday, 3:55 p.m. Message failed to deliver. Friday, 8:14 p.m. Text from Rachel. I hope the test data is everything you wanted it to be. I hope you come out of that thing feeling like $1 million. I hope you read all this and then come find me. After that, there were 6 more messages from someone that failed to deliver. I dialed Rachel's number, but it went directly to voicemail. I tried to text, but the message failed to deliver. I sat there for a while, not thinking, just sitting. Outside, a dozen of them moved through the stop cars below, slow, drifting. One passed directly below the window, and I could see the top of its head, the way it moved, and I understood completely what it was. The chamber's osmotic reservoir had enough solution for 1 more day of sleep, maybe less. The lab had no kitchen, no stored food beyond a box of protein bars I had left in my desk drawer. So I stood up. I opened the drawer, counted the protein bars, and pocketed them. I looked at the phone one more time at Rachel's last 3 messages, and I put it in my pocket too. There was a length of steel pipe on the floor by the supply cabinet. Maintenance had left it months ago and never came back for it. So I picked it up, felt the weight of it, walked to the window, and planned my escape.